Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, and I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Dank. History is Dank with Strider Wilson. Dankness from the ground.
Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of History is Dank. Dude, I'm your host, Strider Wilson. We got Aaron going beast mode on the sticks. Dude, what up, Aaron, dude?
What up?
Dude, freaking chilling, man. We're back. It's been a crazy, as you know, everyone knows, time in LA. So we've had to take some weeks off that we didn't plan, but now we're back in the studio, dude. It's just been somewhat of a nightmare here, but it looks like we're coming out of it when we're recording this episode, so God willing. Dude, speaking of dude, I've been having nightmares, dude.
Oh, shit.
Dude, I had a nightmare where, like, killer dolphins were trying to get me. I'm like, what a stupid nightmare.
Yeah?
We have scarier stuff in real life. It's called sharks.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I just have a nightmare that a shark was getting me? How come dolphins had to become mean?
They are smarter, more devious.
That's true. And they have sex for pleasure. Could have been wanting to have pleasureful sex with me, Aaron.
It's true. If they didn't have a knife, you don't know what their intentions
were. The dolphin in the dream was like, "Hey man, come on, I just want to take you out for dinner. Check it out, man." It kept being like, "Hey man, that makes so much money. Let's go get out for a nice seafood dinner. You like tuna?" Yeah. So I was just saying, but then I'm like, dude, you know what, bro? Adults, I don't have time for nightmares. You're a dad.
Yeah.
I'm working. I travel for comedy. I work the job at the hotel, valet, parking whip, scoring fat tips. What up, dude? I'm like, dude, I need my sleep. I can't be waking up because there's killer dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's crazy.
I already got enough real nightmares.
Yeah.
When I'm awake, I'm in a night. I made $11,000 last year. That's every time I open my Chase bank account, it's skydiving for me, baby.
Yeah.
And saying my age out loud, that's a nightmare now. Why do I need to have killer dolphins coming after me, dude?
Yeah, I could just hear my daughter cough in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
That's enough of it. That's the nightmare right there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, what a stupid. That's like me, having that, how there's that nightmare, being naked at work or in public or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like me being having a nightmare. I'm naked at work, but I work from home. It's like, great. What? I woke up for this? Come on, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. But otherwise, freaking posted up, chilling, dude. Let's see, dude. My dank ass wife and I, dude, we're hunting for houses, dude. And just looking for a little 2-bedroom, dude. I told every time we go and see one of the houses, we talk to the realtor and I let him know, dude, this is my DJ room. I want to make fat beats here. I don't want this soundproof. I want feedback from the neighbors. So we haven't been approved yet. Maybe that's a bad call. Maybe I need to be like, I want to paint in here. This is my room where I'd like to just do yoga, quiet space. I should just lie. This is the room where I keep my cleaning supplies, where I'll go and clean the entire building. I like to just do that. I like to clean the entire building on my own. You need to lie, dude. Also, dude, I've been having to use a proper voice while leaving a voicemail. I may have talked about this before, but I'm like, that's not me, dude. So much in society, when we're working somewhere, the voice that someone makes, your car's getting serviced right now. It's like, hey, thank you for calling Glendale Ford. What service would you like? I'm like, no one talks. Why?
No.
Everyone should just answer, what up, dude? Glendale Ford. My name's Chris. Fucking, what are you calling for? You want sales or you want a service? All right, tight, dude. Hold on. I would trust that business way more, dude. Then, oh, Chris, let me see if he's in. Okay, hold one. Who decided that was the right thing to do? What managers got together and were like, we like this fake voice. In your party, I use this voice at work. You know what I mean? My work. yes, welcome and very nice. The restaurant will be inside to your right. I'm like, dude, why am I talking like my dick just got cut off? That's the voice, dude. The voice is like if my weenie was long enough, I folded it back between my grundle and sat on my own weenie tip. Yep, okay, great. Mm-hmm. Dude, customer service should just be laid back, dude. You know what I'm saying? You're here for the restaurant? All right. It's inside. Duh. What do you think? There is an outside restaurant. Yes, you can just go. You can cruise down that hill. There's an entrance down there if you want. But I'd go to the inside one, although it's pretty packed. Did you make a reservation? Oh, bad call. So you're winging it, dude. In front of your date. So you didn't have a plan. Okay. I want to be able to call people out like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you had no plan. You just cruised here? That could be fun, though. Spontaneity's chill. See if you can get a seat at the bar, dude. Say what up to Jimmy for me. That's tight. You know? Oh, no reservation. Is my reservation only tonight? You're more than likely, you can try. Hold on. I need a... Yep. Sorry, I'm just itching the back of my leg with my weenie tip. Yep. Yeah.
No reservation. Do you also skydive on a regular?
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
What are you doing, bro? What are you, a madman, dude? Come on. And I'm leaving these voicemails. Hello, my name is Strider Wilson, Wilson, Strider with an I. My wife and I, small dog, terrier, friendly, well-trained, 19 pounds, looking for a 2-bedroom. So we were just wondering if there's any availability for a showing this Friday. We're available. Give me a call back at, bye. No. What up, dude? Strider. Fucking want to make, I've got a strobe light that I need to hang in a room. I have a lava lamp, dude, and my Xbox is pretty chill, dude. If you, I just bought a new credenza. I want to put it in a sick-ass living room. Let me know. Actually, I'm in the area. I was just kicking it with my boys, Chad and JT, at the mall. We just like to walk around and skate indoors. So, I'll probably cruise by, dude. Just wondering, is your complex grind friendly? And I'm not talking about boning my wife, which I like to do, but I'm talking about, can I grind stuff like rails, curbs? So you got any cool 6 stairs? No, I can't ollie any of them, but I want to try. It's been a New Year's resolution. Speaking of New Year's resis, Aaron, have you been to an adult karate class yet?
No.
Neither have I. But that's classic me. Same old me. Say I'm going to do something, don't. What up? You can count on that. You can count on that. All right. Today's topic, actually before that, I got to give a quick shout out to Luke, who's posted up listening in Jimmy John's parking lot. Luke, get yourself up, all day. So before we get into our topic today, LA architecture now, I want to pay homage. I want to celebrate. Some of the structures have been lost. Not all of the structures on this list have, so it's benevolent in that regard, but just want to go and highlight, and I like architecture as an art form now. I mentioned I'm leaving these, dickless voicemails to, a lot of realtors named Sue, Kyle, Connie, Taryn. These are the names of all realtors. And if your name is anything other than that, you ain't going to be in the real estate business, baby. Josh, a few Joshes out there, actually. Anyway, I want to celebrate some sick-ass architecture. I'm into it now. I've said it, and I'll say it again, form and function. I like that. A credenza has that for me when it comes to interior decor. It's the sickest looking piece of furniture. If it's close enough, you can kick your feet up. You can put, your Band of Brothers DVD box set inside any cabinet that you want on there. It's simple looking wood, great angles, just beautiful to look at for hours on end. Just stare. Like you're on a freeway overpass just looking at traffic because you want to be part of something. Now, some iconic LA structures, you might be thinking to yourself, Dodger Stadium, very sick. Might be thinking to yourself, Disneyland, I don't know. When I think of LA, when I think of architecture in California, I would think Golden Gate Bridge, something like that. What type of style do we have here? Is it, there used to be a lot of ranches here, groves. Is this sort of a Spanish hacienda style? What we're going to be talking about here is something more modern. I'm a modern guy, and by that, Most of these builds are going to be in the early part of the 20th century and by renowned architects. The first piece that we're going to be discussing today and celebrating dank architecture throughout SoCal is the Ames House. Now, very sick. Now you look at this, and it looks like a cube. Why? You know, when you look at the structure, you go, before this existed, there was just surrounding tree, wildlife, and then boom, we drop this in the middle of it. Yet, I'm pleased when I look at this thing, dude. It's not a monstrosity like the Minion is at Universal Studios when you're driving down the 101, which is next to Hogwarts, which is dank. Hogwarts has dank architecture. The Ames House, before I get into the architecture of this, I mentioned my favorite piece of interior decor is, of course, the dank Denza, but I also do like the Ames lounge chair. This is a chair that is a supreme chair for gaming. You can probably picture it. You would have a lamp, reading chair, maybe you wear a smoking jacket, and it is something that you could drill yourself in this. This is something, if you had a nice modern library, you could absolutely obliterate your hog in one of these things with your feet up. Would be very nice, and especially if you did artistically with some lighting hitting you. You know, maybe you're lighting whatever you're looking at, or maybe you're just using thoughts and your eyes are entirely closed, but the bottom half of your body is lit to hide this act that is seen, looked at upon as mammalian and primal from the more elevated, enlightened act that's in your dome. But it's this blend of primal and modern man in a cave. You're in your modern cave drill factory instead of lounging on, what a caveman lounged on, I don't know, quilts or whatever of saber-toothed tigers or woolly mammoths. You're sitting back on a plush leather Ames lounge chair, ready to launch something up into the air and just hope it disappears. Very beautiful. So in any case, this is the Ames House. Okay, a mid-century modern architectural landmark. Okay, fortunately, this is still standing. It's in the Pacific Palisades, but it was an area that did not was not affected by the fires. The whole area is affected, but it did not. It withstood and never came under direct threat. So you have renowned husband and wife designers, like I mentioned, Charles and Ray Ames. Ray, cool name for a lady, I gotta say. Sick rhyme by me, dude. It was to serve, and this is very LA, as their studio and home. What did I just mention that I say to these real estate agents that I call Connie, Taryn, Kyle, Josh? I say I want a place to lay down sick beats. This is a home, and how many people in Los Angeles are creative artists and they live and work out of the same space? And think about this, everyone's working from home. Everyone's saying old school, we go to the office, we talk around the water cooler. That's where the synergy happens. Bro, creatives work from home. So sick. So it was even ahead of its time. During its time. Think about that. Sick to think about that. This was built as part of a case study by Arts and Architecture. I guess there was 25 homes that were commissioned from various architects, and this one ended up being the most successful. Featured heavily in the magazine. It was featured it's been used in tons of shoots for Vogue and other publications throughout the years. Pretty sick. Funny enough, Charles and Ray moved in on Christmas Eve. That's a fact that I have here. I just wrote that down because I was like, why would you do that? Why would you move on Christmas Eve? Just wait a couple days.
Yeah, you just want to confuse Santa?
Yeah, pretty bro, exactly. They're on a mission to freak Santa out, dude. And also, I don't see a chimney on here. How's he even supposed to get in? This house probably was designed to keep Santa out.
Yeah.
That's demented, dude. And it's like a giant gift box anyway. It looks like could be unwrapped, like in a Lexus commercial, like when they always pull up and it's like a Lexus with a bow on it, and then, you know, the affluent husband who looks like, you know, he only enjoys stand-up sex reveals that he has like an LS 360 or whatever for his wife, who looks like she's, you know, always at spin class. Comes out and she, oh, and then they hug.
Mm-hmm. I
would like to watch that couple make love while I'm in my Ames lounge chair.
Always.
And I think I'll search that when I get home. This house is actually not designed with the intent of keeping Santa out. It is based on the Stijl, which I'm probably saying wrong, Stijl movement. This is a Dutch movement. Dutch, always, you know, simplicity seems to be a common theme. I wonder why the Dutch are so heavily, like they always, all their movements and stuff are geared so much toward, you know, you got a lot of dark stuff going on up there, you know, in the Scandinavians. But a lot of their stuff, especially with design, interior, and architecture and otherwise, is always very simple. I wonder why. I would think when their climate, if it's like anything climate-based or whatever, like, wouldn't you want more cozy stuff because it's cold all the time?
Yeah.
But you know what? A lot of the stuff does allow for light to come in. And, you know, it's dark a lot of the time, so they do play with light quite a bit. This is, this digital movement started in 1917 by a group of artists and architects, and of course, you know, architecture, it's all mediums, essays, paintings, drawings, and stuff like that. But of course, in this one, we're highlighting the architecture. It has, the art highlights, and as you can see in the structure, it's all about rigidity of lines, right angles. This does also with that blue panel, the red down below. Elements of elementarism are adopted here, and elementarism uses like diagonals. It's tough to see, but there's a few diagonals on the side, but mainly it's all right angles, horizontals, verticals. Why this? It was this is a sort of an idea that's called, what's the main idea? Find its expression in an abstract form. They say it is clearly defined, primary colors only. This art allowed only primary colors and non-colors, only squares and rectangles. Yeah, but fucking why? I just said that, dude. It's such an American question to ask why, dude. You know, it's not meant to blend in with its environment, I'll tell you that. It is, I mean, maybe it's just supposed to be a bold statement of man's idea, you know. Some art, and we'll get into some other works here, are supposed to blend nature, you know. Famously, Frank Lloyd Wright, who of course we're not going to do an architecture episode and not talk about him. We have a few of his works coming up soon. But, it was a rejection. This digital movement, it wanted to reject harmonious and balanced relationships. Therefore, it had, because you don't find right angles in nature. So it was a little bit of a pushback movement. You know, it's probably a pushback on the classical study or whatever they did, and it's a new idea, but you'd think you'd want your house to be harmonious.
Yeah.
But this is a rejection of harmonious and balanced relationships. But the married couple, Ames, they lived there for a long, long time. I think they did end up selling the property, but things were harmonious there. Moving along, the Zane Grey house. This was located in Altadena, and unfortunately, this house is gone now. Now, this is designed in a Mediterranean revival style. Now, art is subjective. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I like the look of this home more than the Ames house. If you were gonna say, hey, Strider, pick whatever house you want to live in, I would pick this house.
Yeah,
I think it looks sick. Revival style, Mediterranean revival style. Now, Mediterranean revival evokes an old world image featuring decorative columns, arch windows, clay barrel tile roofs, rough stucco walls, wrought iron and spindle gates, guarding picturesque courtyards. These buildings are a whimsical interpretation of the old world, combining elements from differing Mediterranean styles, resulting in a fantasy architecture. yeah, it's a fantasy to think I could afford something like this,
Yeah.
So I it's very dank. When you're looking at things to look for, like in the Stijl movement, you want to look for right angles, primary colors only. If you're looking for Mediterranean revival buildings, bell towers, archways, awnings, porches, balconies, carved stonework, rough stucco walls, clay tiles, wrought iron fixtures. Okay? Now, this home was designed in 1903. 1907. In 1903, the first owners, the Woodwards, he's a Chicago business machine manufacturer, Arthur Woodward. It was, quote, and this is now tragically ironic, it was the first fireproof home in Altadena because it was the materials it was made from, reinforced cement, concrete, and prescribed by Woodward's wife, Edith, because she was a survivor of the Iroquois Theater fire in Chicago that killed 600 people in 1903. So she had some PTSD from that, was like, let's make this fireproof. And this is in 1903. Most homes would have been made from wood or, lead paint, stuff that could just go up like in an instant, So it was made from, the most modern materials at the time in a Mediterranean revival style. Pretty freaking sick. It looks like the backyard of it, which you can't see here. Aaron and I were looking at stuff earlier. Maybe this was used in the film The Jerk, we were thinking.
Yes, this is the home that The Jerk was filmed at.
Yeah. Very.
And the beginning of The Godfather with the horse head.
Yes, the Zane Grey
Is
Manor.
in the back of this
Yep.
house. Yeah.
Zane Grey moved in 1920. That's why it's called the Zane Grey Estate. He added a wing to it. And then, you could visit this home, take like tours and audio tours and stuff.
Yeah, until recently.
Yes. So tragically gone. But perhaps we'll see what happens when we rebuild. Maybe they'll bring it back or do something that's inspired by it and pay homage. Now, moving along and celebrating other works here in LA, like I mentioned earlier, you're not going to bring up architecture and you're not going to talk about your boy FLW Frank Lloyd Wright. Of course, he, in his most famous work, I don't have a picture of it here, but Falling Water, beautiful blend of nature and modernity. Very difficult for me to say that. One of his works here, and I've got a few, the Ennis House. Speaking of films, this was featured in a little movie that maybe you fell asleep during called Blade Runner. Meow, 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 meow. I'm sleeping. Very sick. This is called a textile. And you just say textile. And it's a double entendre because it's the textile, Textile. You can see if you're looking at it now, it looks like it's a sort of quilted exterior here, but that's just an effect that he put on it. Also looks somewhat Mesoamerican,
Yeah.
and like somewhat European with the these doors look like Roman. They're not quite French doors that swing open both. Double doors, but looks like single doors.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a Mayan temple.
It does. With a sick ass pool that you could definitely bone in, dude.
Yeah. Don't recommend.
Yeah, maybe if it's just saltwater pool. Probably at the time it was built, which was in 1923, they probably did not have a saltwater pool.
Yeah. But just pool sex in general. It's not what you hope
It's not what you hope it would be.
Yeah.
It's just not what you're hoping for. He uses new building materials, of course, current to 1923. Organic architecture, simplicity, and plenty of glass are always common in Wright structures. He's, of course, most famous for his prairie style, a uniquely American style of architecture. This is not that prairie style, but you'll see elements of his prairie style house in many of his structures, also including another famous work of his the Hollyhock House. This was his first residential project in California, built in 1922, built for Aline Barnsdall. I don't live far from the Barnsdall Park, which is this place here is not far from where I'm at. I go to that park. I like to take my shirt off, sit on the hood of my car, and play my music loud while people read. I like to do that. I don't even vape, but I'll have a vape on me and just fat plumes. Just let people know I'm there. What up? I like to be seen. No one loves me, so I go around the city making loud noise. That's what I do. I'm not loved in a way I see fit, and the irony is I don't even know what would feel fit for me, but I do know that when I pull up to the beach, a quiet park, maybe even a school zone, I will blast my music. I will put on a tank top. I'll basically imagine me wearing Cameron Poe from Nick Cage outfit and doing overhead press from a barbell with 135 pounds. I clean and jerk it over my head, and I just rep out military press until a public safety officer, a traffic officer, or a nice pedestrian asks me kindly, "Hey man, can you just go away?" Every single day of my life, I make sure somebody on this planet comes up to me and says, "Hey man," in a very defeated tone, "Hey man, can you just go away, man?" And that's a dub for me, dude. And that's how I sleep at night. It's kept me off the nightmares. Heavy overhead military press in public settings. I'll go to Chipotle carrying a full barbell in there. Tough to navigate those angles. Talk about the Stijl architectural movement. I'm freaking distilling my way through that Chipotle line, getting out on that right angle, and then right when I get to the first station, do you want bowl burrito? I just lean down, boom, clean, press, start racking it out. Hold on, let me finish this set that I order. I'm an animal. And my order, you guessed it, barbacoa in a water cup. Extra juice. Yeah, put the juice in there. Good. Then I go up and I cause a confrontation. I go, "But it's a cup. It's a cup of the drink. I shouldn't pay the meat price because it's the cup." Then they go, "Really? You should pay for the cup plus the meat." And I go, "Good point. Do you take crypto?" That's what I do. So, Aaron, I mentioned this Hollyhock House here.
Uh-huh.
And look,
It looks like something out of Star Wars,
big time.
like Jabba the Hutt.
And it kind of looks like
his summer residence.
That's a great call. And you know what? You think about the future, and when Dune was being written, it's being written not kind of around the time that these structures are being created. And a lot of the stuff on the Dune planet, House Atreides on Arrakis, looks kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the blend of like high technology next to like simple earth material. Very sick design. Good place. If you're going to bone a robot, speaking of the Blade Runner, although those technically aren't robots, they're like clones.
Androids.
Yes. Is that what they are? Are they androids?
Yeah.
Made of like human flesh, but they have android brains?
Yeah.
They're not clones.
No.
Here's a good question, moral question to be posited
It's
upon.
confusing because they're called replicants, but yeah, they are.
Yeah, they invent their own term, replicant.
Replica of a human.
Yeah. Is it moral to bone a replicant? Of course, everything's consensual.
I mean,
The
if you don't
replicant's
know,
into you. You've taken the replicant out for a nice seafood dinner.
Yeah.
And this is your third date,
Yeah.
and you guys are vibing.
You're taking your time.
Is it okay to bone?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Particularly if you don't know.
What about
But also if you do know, but things are...
full knowledge?
Everyone's
You
cool.
have knowledge.
Everyone's cool, everyone's consenting. Yeah. Go for it.
Now, also according to Blade Runner, and this is a little crass, sorry, you wouldn't have to pull out.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice.
Legit.
So, what about clones? Should clones be allowed to bone other clones? Should humans be allowed to bone clones? Should we be allowed to harvest them for organs like we talk about so much in science fiction? Maybe you've seen a little movie called The Island.
I have not, but I do know of it.
It's Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson, my boy, Ewan McGregor, Lincoln Six Echo. Pretty sick. Love the lighting in that film. Great lighting. Anyway, Aaron, if you had a clone, you cloned yourself.
Uh-huh.
Would you make him go work for you? Would you make him come here and be beast mode on the sticks while you're, doing what Aaron loves to do? Yelling at strangers in parking lots. I know you like doing that.
I don't know. It's so hard to even comprehend. This clone looks like me. He's my age, or at least appears to be.
Mm-hmm.
He's got what amount of my brain? Like,
that's so true. I'm
like,
imagining he has all of your memories, experience, except I'm just for some reason imagining you get to tell him what to do. But if you just clone someone, Aaron, from right now, if I clone me,
yeah,
it would be a brand. It'd be like a newborn baby, and in that case, it's immoral.
Yeah, can't put that thing to work. It's a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
You're never going to have a clone that's your age.
So true.
So you just boss around a kid.
You'd almost just have to the best thing to do is just have a clone be overnight security guard for you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything. Really teach it to do the most minimum stuff, and then you collect its paycheck like a sick fuck, dude. It'd be so chill. See, immediately you go evil. I'm benevolent. I'm like, man, why not just have this clone and I could help more people, dude. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, honey, hey, did you hear me? When my wife's like, hey, didn't you listen when I said that we need to do that? I'd be like, no, it was my clone. Classic, guys. We're on a comedy podcast here. Classic. All right. Enough of these hypotheticals. So you never know. We're talking art. This is why people like to have stimulating conversations. Also, Aaron, have you seen The Brutalist? Sorry.
No.
Okay. Too long.
Yeah.
There's an intermission, but it is well acted and sometimes a little on the nose. Dude, Guy Pearce's performance is amazing. His character's a total scumbag. But
sounds like Guy Pearce.
Yep. Yeah, always, yep. But Adrian Brody's great, and I forget the name of the actress who played his wife. She's actually probably my favorite part of it. I think she's the best actress in it. Her performance, I should say, is my favorite. But way too long. But it's a movie about architecture, brutalist architecture, from out of the Bauhaus. Anyway, I mentioned this Hollyhock house, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright, but it might actually be more of a Rudolf Schindler project because he's the one who really oversaw it. Now it's Wright's design and everything, but Rudolf Schindler was the main one overseeing this home in 1922 being constructed for Eileen Barnsdall. And because Frank Lloyd Wright was in Japan working on a now quote-unquote skyscraper. Now, Wright was against, maybe I shouldn't say against, but he has drawn some skyscrapers, but he never really designed buildings. I want to say maybe anything over 5 stories, but built and constructed, but he has designs for them. And I think now in Japan, they are going to make a Frank Lloyd Wright design that is going to be a skyscraper. But I think he was like building a hotel that was 5 stories or something like that. Fat commission, making fat bank, dude, in Japan. So can't blame the guy, dude, fucking making bank, dude. So this leads me into the Schindler House. Now, also known as the King's Road House. This is in West Hollywood. I used to live not far from here. In fact, I used to always go to King's Road Coffee. It used to be one of my favorite coffee spots. And this house is like right there. So cool that one of these beautiful, and I mean, look at this house. This might be my favorite style house. You can even see the influence of Japanese architecture in this, maybe just based on conversations that Rudolf Schindler was having with Frank Lloyd Wright, and then this inspired him in his next project. Now, this is a pioneer of modernist architecture in LA. It's, in fact, it's unusual. This is a 2-family home, And when I first saw this, you know what I said to myself? This is a good orgy space. There's no upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't want a class like, oh, the people upstairs, they're the one doing all the fun stuff. Down here, it's kind of like whatever, we're just shaking hands. No, everything is balls to the walls. If you're going to throw a robed sex party with charcuterie, this is the place to do it in 1922. Okay? And to today, because it's still standing. And then it tickled me because I said, you know what? This is unusual. This is a 2-family home. This is a swingers home. You could have a German couple in here for sure. Oh, it's good morning. Tonight, shall we swap again? Good. Yeah. Very good. This is very good last night. It's your wife. And the other guy being like, thanks, dude. Yeah, no, this is cool. I'm glad we're swapping. I didn't realize when I bought this home, it came with a German family that's into boning around, in and around us. I'm pushing things forward here. I kind of like it, I got to say, but I think let's just have breakfast. You know what I mean? Let's have breakfast. This had think about the place in your home where you hang out the most. There's, of course, you call it the living room or the family room, right, where you're most meant to hang out. But most hangouts, and especially for ragers and house parties, dude, it's in the kitchen.
Yep. And
you've got an island. This house had that because it had a communal kitchen with the island thing. This is one of the first homes to do that. So influential, so American, if you will. It was Schindler's grand experiment with design-spaced industrial materials and on-site construction methods. Don't know what really that means. Once again, Wright's Prairie Home and Stickley's Craftsman. My wife and I love a little Craftsman, not going to lie. Excuse me, I got excited. In this house, speaking of orgies, you have a semi-sheltered sleeping area on the roof of each apartment. So this is like a duplex. And over the years, these sleeping porches became more enclosed, right? People were like, look, we're not really going to sleep outside in LA. Like in 1922, I guess you could see stars. After that, too much building, smog, all that shit. Let's just close these puppies up. But they still have windows. You can look out upon the whatever you can see in the sky. Probably drones or UFOs or perverts. Aaron, here's another query for you.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they have perverts?
Oh, yeah.
I think so, too.
I think they are perverts.
Mm-hmm. I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think everything aliens do is sexually driven.
Yeah.
I think I can go out and say something like that. And never have to worry about peddling that back. Ever.
No.
So remember I said those terms earlier. What the hell am I even talking about? Innovative material. Well, all it means is concrete, sliding canvas panels, aka the Japanese influence. Thank you. Fired up on that. Open floor pan. Integrated outdoors with the living space. How great is that? Let's slide these open. Let's have a barbecue. We're in Southern California. Something that you're not doing in Chicago. Where Flank Road has a lot of designs there, and I know we're talking about Schindler here, but he's a disciple of his. No conventional living room here. Like I mentioned, the kitchen, baby, that's the space where you're hanging out. Outdoor spaces, multi-level terraces, sunken gardens. There were even outdoor sleeping baskets. All right, Rudolph, let's calm down here. Okay. We shall put one of our wives inside of the basket. Whoever, like on Easter, we will be bunnies, will be hopping around. And whoever's wife we find first, we then, of course, how should you say, do something triumphant. So, Schindler designed this house with his wife Pauline. Love that. Cooperative living for 2 young families. Yeah, I love it. I think it's sick. Its influences were, of course, Wright, Stickley, like I mentioned, the Craftsman, the Stijl movement. So you have a lot of right angles here. See? I mean, if you just go look at a house with your Sigo, and you bring up right angles, open space, stepping into a space, the release of space, light, material. You start talking about these things, you're going to catch people off guard. You know what I mean? So you got to have these in your back pocket. You got to have these in your back pocket. And in fact, this next structure that I'm bringing up is one of my favorites. Oh, well, how did this get in here? Oh my goodness. Whoa, guys, for you listening, if you're watching on YouTube, you already know, but if you're listening, this is called the Forever Castle, actually. This is a Boris Vallejo. What we're looking at here is an absolute smoke show spin class instructor who's half dragonfly. She looks like a dragonfly queen who has a few pets, which are pterodactyls. It looks like she owns at least one, but there are 4 pterodactyls, and she lives on a suspended castle in the sky. And, this would be something that would be like, if I were to tell my bros, like, hey, dudes, I'm into crystals now, and they'd all go, what? What are you trying to reverse your college education? Why? And then I'd go, I don't know, dude, my girlfriend got me into, what? Your girlfriend? What? Oh, dude, have you met my girlfriend? Yeah, her name's Jade. Yeah, she's part butterfly, dragonfly. And do you own a Peloton? Yeah. Yeah, she's got a class on there. It's pretty sick. She also DJs. This girl definitely DJs. And then your boys would be like, oh, yeah, this is a good reason to get into crystals, dude. And pegging. You could probably convince your boys it's pretty fun. Look, once you hop upon the Forever Castle and you see your dragonfly girlfriend, she'll put something in you and it will be good. You'll say, this is good. You'll go, good. Oh, good. In fact, I think that's why seats might be so narrow in spin classes. It's probably just warming you up to get pegged eventually by your girlfriend who's teaching it. In any case, this is a beautiful structure. I mean, you have, once again, I don't know if it's European or revival, but it's definitely fantasy oriented here. Just strict, I think just strict fantasy. And it looks like it plays with its natural environment where it's as if you have those, stalactites go down and stalagmites come up. It's the stalagmite structure to the stalactites at the end of the, I don't know what you would call this suspended natural.
It almost looks like it's the castle's on top of the head of a dinosaur.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Or fossilized dinosaur.
It does look like a fossilized dinosaur, yeah. I'll tell you something that's fossilized when I look at this.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, man, I can't believe this popped in here. Sorry about that, Aaron. Let's get to our last piece before we get out of here, celebrating these Los Angeles and, of course, these Vallejo works. Another famous architect, not a home here, but just, earlier I posited the question and the challenge. Hey, when you think of Southern California architecture, what do you think? I don't know what pops into my head, but I guess...
The giant Randy's donut.
Yeah, honestly, dude, it probably is the Randy's donut. How would I describe the Randy's donut in esoteric architectural lingo? Well, it's a use of modern materials. It's a play on it's a processed food that you're eating, and the process of creating the donut is it's something that's bold. It's meant to stand out, turn heads, and it sits atop a classic structure, hearkening to the Edward Hopper, the loneliness of a donut. It's a meal for one, but then again, you can buy a box or a dozen, but it's one giant donut up there. We're one society. That's why it's all of us coming together to enjoy individualized snacks as a group, each one picking his or her own flavor out of the donut. Because what is it, after all? A hut. So it's hearkening back to our ancestral times of hut living, which they did in the Los Angeles area eons and eons ago. In fact, where the first Randy's Donut hut is constructed is actually, it's on land that belonged to Pizza Hut that used to live here. So anyway, that would be If you're doing that, you know, you might as well be drilling yourself in an Ames chair. Now, Frank Gehry, he designed the Walt Disney Concert Hall. Because in my dome, I thought of the Disney castle. I just went Disneyland. I'm like, oh yeah, Disneyland for some reason. But then I was like, you know, this is a fantasy castle. I have the Boris Vallejo, which is a superior castle. And then I thought, okay, well, what's Disney? And then Frank Gehry has so many prominent works in Los Angeles and elsewhere. He's from Canada, so it's also a very Los Angeles story. He's a transplant, like so many of us here in Los Angeles. Moved to LA as a teenager, grew up here, and he designed this concert hall in a very, I mean, if you look at this, it's undeniably modern. Just broken geometries, uneven corners, walls that appear convex, and unusual materials such as corrugated iron and plywood, all characteristic of his design. It's examples of deconstructivism. This blurs the lines between art and architecture, which any good architect is trying to do. You're making a piece of art, but it has to, you know, have bathrooms and a parking lot and stuff, right? Downtown Los Angeles. Also, within it, art takes place, the acoustics. You know, he has to properly craft a concert auditorium that will reverberate the sound in a beautiful way, you know, Douglas fir panels, vineyard style seating arrangement, not to drown out the sound, and just make it, you know, a proper concert going experiment. So art within art upon art.
He also has to build enough parking to house jurors at the local courthouses.
That is very true. If you get jury duty, you will be parking here. So keep that and make sure to get it validated.
Yeah.
Make sure to get it validated. And you have to stay overtime, get that second ticket. Otherwise, you're going to be paying probably $18.50. So very legit episode. Dank architecture. I always love to explore architecture, I have to say. Also, with the wildfires and everything, you know, I'm going to put a link in here to, if you want to donate to and stuff like that. My wife and I donate to the Humane Society, so I'll put that link in there, Pasadena Humane Society. But, you know, pick and choose whatever your heart desires if you're so inclined. Also, but be careful of scammers, because there's, you know, weasels out there. Let's end with a Zane Grey quote. I hate birthdays. Zane Grey. He actually did say that. But let's do something a little bit better. Let's see. He says, love grows more tremendously full, swift, poignant as the years multiply. I agree with that. He's got a few other good ones. I will see this game of life out to its bitter end. Going 12 rounds, baby. Let's go. A lot of his stuff is about the torture of writing and how when he's in a bad mood, he'll write and the bad mood will go away. And sometimes he doesn't want to write but still does, but it always ends up being okay. Let's see. This is true. I find a lot. I am full of fire and passion. I am not ready yet for great concentration and passion. Yeah. Harness that concentration. I know it's like, hey, you want to do these things. I want to experience everything, or even not everything, but right now, I want to rock climb so bad. And then I'm like, but I don't want to think about it and learn it and do it and get better. I just want to be like Neo in the Matrix and no kung fu. Yeah. But that ain't how life works. So you got to see it out to the bitter end, and you got to experience a lot of those birthdays you hate and grow in love more tremendously and vigorously through the years. Thank you for that, Zane Grey. And thank you to these architects, and thank you to the firefighters and everyone working hard, and sorry to those that have been affected by these insane wildfires. And honestly, dude, I'm going to say this. Fuck the wind, bro.
Yeah.
I'm over the wind. Honestly, a slight breeze at this point might piss me off.
Yep.
So, other than that, stay stoked. Dap it up. Aaron, you're a beast. And, think about that cloning stuff. Think about that alien stuff I was talking about. Think about that type of shit, dude. Coming at you hot with more eppies in the future. Stay stoked. We'll catch you guys in the next one, dude. Late.